great morning, great people. Welcome to the message, y'all. Welcome to the message. I hope you're doing well. Hold on, y'all. Look, out of alignment. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We in this thing. We in this thing. So, you know what to do, ski booski. Come in, like the live, share the love. Drop something in the chat that you're grateful for. Let's get in the flow of abundance. And let's get into the message for this morning. I don't have a whole lot this morning, y'all. The Lord was just talking to me about, first of all, because I had to get some rest, okay? I really only had one day off this week, and so I ended up getting a lot of rest, so I'm grateful for that. But what the Lord was talking to me about over the weekend, y'all, was, man, ain't I changed? Ain't I changed, y'all? Drop it in the chat. I'm different. I'm different. And I'm gonna tell y'all how this came about, and then we're gonna get into the message for this morning. If you are new to the community, welcome. We are so happy and so grateful that you are here. Y'all like the live, share the love. Drop something in the chat that you're grateful for. Let's get in the flow of abundance. Let's get into the message and sip your favorite adult beverage. All to do it, let's get to it. So the song that popped in my spirituals, y'all, this morning, I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. So over the weekend, I had an opportunity to speak with someone regarding it was just like it was a story that I ended up telling about, a past part of my life, y'all, something that I experienced many moons ago. And as I was telling this story, it just reminded me, it made me think about how much I've changed, how much the Lord has changed me within the last, oh my gosh, within the last 7 years, from the person who I was to the person who I am becoming, because we ain't done, right? Good morning, Sharon. Good morning. Because we're not done. The Lord is still working on us. And so, good morning, dearest one. Y'all like the live, share the love. And so, as I was telling this story, y'all, can anybody just acknowledge and admit that you done been, sometimes that you done been a dummy? Anybody, I'm not supposed to say that word. I'm probably going to get blocked. My bad. I done been a whole fool in my life, y'all, in some instances. Like, and as I was telling this story the other day, right, I was just like, man, I can't believe I put myself through this. Like, I can't believe that this is what, the type of time that I was on. But in that moment, and thank you, Lord, in that moment, y'all, it made me realize that some of us, people, we don't oftentimes know what kind of experiences someone did or did not grow up with, right? So it made me understand how, like, y'all, we didn't grow up with any women in our family. So we didn't have that mama, y'all, I love you, girl. Like, we didn't have the mama who was able to, who talked to us about womanly stuff, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't grow up with women in my family. So we didn't have anyone to give us an example, a blueprint, to talk to us, to nurture us, to teach us those things that could have potentially helped us from making some of those decisions and dealing with some of the things that we dealt with. And I had a moment where I thought about that, and it's how we start breaking. We talk about generational curses and karma and all those things that we have to break, right? But for many of us, you never know that, like, unless you talk to someone, people don't know that, man, I didn't have nobody telling me about, I didn't have anyone telling me how to be a woman, what not to accept. So by the time, of course, being a teenage mama, right? Because y'all know I was pregnant at 16. So I didn't know what a man was supposed to do or not do. I didn't know how I was supposed to be treated, because those are not things that I was ever taught. And mind you, my stepdad, Vernell, love you, Vernell. He is an excellent man. He was never anything wrong to my mama, but it was not, my mama never talked to us about these types of things. So I had this moment as I was having this conversation, and true story, y'all, when I was telling this story and I was talking about what happened then, I had a moment where that little girl inside of me was so hurt because and it wasn't the person who was I was talking to wasn't didn't hurt me, but it was just like, man, she's experienced so much. She's been through so much. She's overcome and still overcoming so much. So the little wounded part of me had that moment where it was just like, dang, that little girl didn't have a whole lot of people pouring into her, showing her love. Is why I'm so focused on loving myself the way that I do now. I hope this makes sense to somebody. Don't allow that pain, that trauma, those things that you didn't know then. Don't allow that to put you in your feelings. Don't allow it to make you feel any type of way because you didn't know what you didn't know. You understand? You didn't know then, but I bet you know now. Drop it in the chat. I know now. So the same things that I experienced, and for me, I was talking about men at this time, things that I dealt with men in various relationships and allowed them to put me through. I guarantee you, what? Never again. Can anybody just drop that in the chat? Never again. Never again. And that's what for some of you, there are people in your life right now. There are people that are looking at you from the sidelines, not understanding why they can't play in your face the same way. Why no, you don't have any access to me, because never again. Do you understand? I will never allow myself to be played with the way that I have been played with before. And so for some of you, there are people who are looking at you. They mad because you didn't shut a door on them. They mad because they don't have access to you again. But this is why. Never again. You will never have the opportunity to play with me like that because you hurt that little girl who I'm still working on healing. Man, anyway, I hope that made sense for somebody. Never again, y'all. Some of y'all got to have that never again moment with that little girl inside yourself. You got to really talk to yourself and understand, no, you'll never be able to play with me the same way. And I hope that made sense to somebody. That's what the Lord wanted me to talk about this morning. We gonna have them never. This is where your healing begins, right? Hey, MNJ, what it do, Skibooski? Never again will I allow you to play with me the way that you were able to in the past. So I hope that made sense for somebody. That was what the Lord was talking to me about over the weekend. And then, and let me just kind of mention this, and I'm not going to go into a lot because for some of you, it's understanding, because where my Bible is turned to right now, the Lord is bringing it forward, is Jesus's betrayal. Some of us have been so betrayed by the people who were supposed to love us. Man, that's a story for another day. And then I kept getting the mess. I kept getting Judas, right? I kept getting Judas all over the weekend. I'm like, dang, but this is about, for many of us, understanding that the betrayal, we think about our betrayers as people who are, maybe it's a relationship. No offense to our parents. I love my mama and my dad, and my mama in the spirituals. Y'all know she walks with me, numero uno, spirit guide. But most of the time, betrayal starts in families. It starts with the people that are close to you. So then you end up mirroring or pulling in or attracting those same kind of people who will betray you when you become an adult until you break that cycle. Anyway, that's a story for another day. I hope that made sense to somebody. So understanding, y'all, for many of us, your betrayer is not the first person that will betray you. A lot of times it comes from someone close to you. For many of us, we don't think about it this way, but it's the father that was absent, the abandonment wounds, the rejection wounds, the things that we don't tell anybody about. But most of us, if you anything like me, you attracted men who did you the same way, who were emotionally unavailable, who treated you like, you know what, you right. Let me stop. That's a message for another day. So sometimes your betrayer is closer than you think, right? But you have to acknowledge and recognize where those wounds came from so that you can begin to heal them, right? I hope that made sense to somebody, because we healing in this thing. Okay, Ola, do it. Let's get to it. Let's see what else the Lord wants to talk about today. That's the stuff that people don't tell you, but y'all, the hard part of shadow work, the hard part is like, nah, you have to really acknowledge where the wounds first originated from, right? Here we go. Come on, breakthrough is the first card to come out. We had this card to come out the other day, and then we had enough is enough that came out with this. Escaping from what controlled you, the breakthrough to success and important development. This is talking about manipulation, blowing up your phone. I told y'all, I'm telling you right now, for some of you, access is revoked. It is denied, okay? And I'm telling, and for whoever receives this part of the message, come on, God, your breakthrough is going to be on the other side of you letting go of something that is no longer serving you. I said this last week, or this may have been the week before, where we had this message. Somebody needs to understand this. Thank you, Lord. The Lord is going to tell you to close a cycle, to close a chapter. Your breakthrough is on the other side of letting this go. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but if this resonates with you, this is something that you know is no good for you. You know it. It is undeniable. You done been through this cycle 50 times. Let's use a person, because this, for many of you, message. For many of you, this is in regards to a person, okay? There's someone, you're still in communication with the person. You still dealing with them. You still talking to them. You keep going back and forth with them. You texting, they call, you show up. You're repeating a cycle, but yet you're praying for breakthrough. Well, the Lord is like, I can't break through for you because you won't break free from what is no longer serving you. I hope that makes sense for somebody. And it's not, sometimes we can convince ourselves that people are our friends or people really like us, or listen, for whoever this is, the Lord has shown you that this is no good. And I am here as a witness to the Lord. You can make one move and cut something off, y'all, and the next thing you know, your whole life will change, because the Lord has already told you that there's someone or something that is no good for you, and you praying and you trying to figure out, why is my breakthrough not happening? Why is this not coming through for me? Why am I not receiving what I'm praying for? But it's because you're still holding on to something that has expired. I hope that makes sense. I'm telling you right now, y'all, I'm a living witness to this. One day I had one thing, the next day I didn't. And within a week's time, I had a new job. I had a place to stay. I had resources coming in a lot of times. And if you don't know, y'all. There are people who can be attached to you, who the Lord he will not bless you until you release this, because there are people who are not going to receive this blessing. Man, look, I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but just think about in your life, think about in your life, if you've ever just disconnected, disassociated, detached from someone, and all of a sudden you feel better, your energy's up, all of these things, it's a true story. It happens, right? 465, the next number that's coming in, your environment, the people you surround yourself with, y'all, they can either help or harm you. So you have to pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to your energy. Pay attention to, the way, just the things, are they bringing chaos or are they bringing peace? Psalm 46:5. God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Drop this in the chat. I won't fail. For many of us, we are in a season, it's like the sun that's coming up the next day. Thank y'all. Many of us are in a season where we're so committed to our growth, I refuse to fail. I'm not old, okay, but I am a little antique-ish. I'm not at a point where I can keep starting over, y'all. I cannot keep starting over. I don't know how many more start overs I have in me. Now, we can't give up until we go to glory, right? But can I just tell y'all, I don't have time. When the Lord starts saying, when I start looking at my life, y'all, I feel like I have more time behind me than in front of me. I ain't got time to play with my time, and I'm not finna let anybody play with my time. So for many of you, this is why you're in this energy of like, no, I can't sacrifice my time. I can't keep going through these loops. I can't keep dealing with the same thing, because we don't have time to waste, right? I hope that makes sense for somebody. Unbreakable, sturdy, judgment and equivalent. For many of you, it's like understanding that whatever you went through, it didn't break you. It might have bent you, but it didn't break you. And you're not going to break under the weight of anything else that's coming, because we've been strengthened for this. I hope that made sense. We have the Six of Pentacles is coming in next. This is benefactor, gift from God, balance, reciprocity, generosity, and support. For some of you, you have people who are now coming into your life, who are going to be grateful for you. I hope this makes sense. And it's not that you're this is reciprocal relationships, y'all. Many of us have gone through so many seasons where we didn't have people pouring into us. We didn't have people, for many of us, come on, God, we had to show up and do the work when we needed to be poured into. At least for me, part of my assignment was to pour into other people when I needed to be poured into. I'm telling y'all, I was just talking about this the other day. And people see me now and can't believe that this time last year, I was living in my car and sleeping on my back seat. People can't believe that that was my story. And they're like, no, I can't believe that. No, this is a true story.com. And I said, yep. And I was still getting up every morning, giving a message, encouraging people, giving a word from God, because that was my assignment at that time. And so people can't believe and for many of you, it may be that your assignment is to strengthen other people while you need strengthening yourself. And people don't are not going to understand where your strength actually came from. How, come on, God, how your strength was truly built. Because, and let me say this, thank y'all, because they're talking about shame. Let me tell somebody this right now. If you didn't catch me when I was living in my car and sleeping on my back seat, if you didn't catch me then, there's nothing that you can say to ToShae in this season of life that will make me feel any type of way about self. Do you understand? You can't make me ashamed of my story. You can't. And for somebody needs to understand this. If they didn't catch you in your lowest season, baby, what they say about you in your highest season is not going to matter. Because right now I'm higher than I've ever been. Not because I have material things, but because I have God. Does that make sense? Because the Lord removes that shame, y'all. He does not allow you to be, He don't allow me to be embarrassed about homelessness. And that, so for some of you, whatever your struggle is, whatever it is that you've overcome, you're going to get to a point. This is why it no longer matters what people have to say about you, because the Lord is going to remove all of that when you're at your lowest point. Let those darts may hurt now, but when you get to a certain level, when you get to the understanding that it's just like, man, the Lord took me through it, but He brought me through it, and I don't have to go back there unless I choose to put myself back there. The things that people say to you won't matter. I hope this makes sense. Some of y'all, this is where the Lord is going to strengthen you. And you ain't gonna feel it ain't gonna be a person that can tell you anything about you, because they have no idea. If you ain't catch me in that season, baby, it ain't nothing you can say to me at this point to make me feel some type of way. It's a no for me. I'm telling somebody right now, I can't tell you what to do and I can't tell you when to do it. But there's someone or something that the Lord is instructing you that it's a no. And you're going to have to stand up and you're going to have to put up a boundary. Some of you already have. So this is understanding. Somebody played themselves, right? And this is somebody's coming to an understanding of recognizing, like, nah, some of you truly broke free from something. Cut the cord, cut the attachment, whatever this is, y'all. And I don't know much about this, but I might have to do some research on it. The other day, I ended up looking at something that was talking about a spirit spouse. Now, I don't know anything about it, but I'm mentioning it because they just mentioned it to me. For some of you, there is some cycle that has been broken, but this feels like it has gone through multiple lives, y'all. Multiple lives, right? Where there's some attachment that you had to someone, but in this lifetime, you've actually, whatever this karma was that y'all had to work out with each other, you've worked it out and you have officially released this. And even if they haven't, you have. Anyway, I don't know, that may be important for somebody. I don't know nothing about no spirit spouse, but I kind of looked at something the other day, but I didn't even get all the way through it because I was just like, no, I was like, I didn't feel called to continue watching it. But for some of you, there's definitely no going back to whatever this is. And again, this is a very specific person. And you're going to see, for some of you, if you hadn't cut this off yet, when you do, because this is an instruction the Lord has given you, this is not something that is coming from ToShae. The Lord is going to tell you to do something, and immediately you're going to see your life turn around. Okay? Affirm it is the next card to come out. I am worthy. I am abundant. I am enough. I am growing. I am successful. Remember that, and I think, I don't know if I was talking about this on a message that I recorded this morning. For many of you, life and death in the power of the tongue, right? This is understanding that you have the ability, and the Lord keeps talking to me about, and I think I'm gonna have to study it, right? The where it's like Jesus talks, that he tells the disciples, he's like, he really didn't do anything, the Father did everything through him, but even greater works will you do. So for many of you, you're starting to understand that because God is within you, the kingdom of God is within you, even greater works are you getting ready to start doing, y'all. Even greater things. It's like you're going to really truly understand what life and death is in the power of the tongue means, because you're going to start affirming the things that you want to see, and you're going to start speaking. For some of you, it's just that much power and authority that the Lord is giving you, where you're going to speak things and all of a sudden it's going to show up for you. It's going to be manifesting. So this is why we have to be careful about the words that we're speaking, because your words are more powerful than you may be recognizing, right? You're going to say something and all of a sudden it's going to show up. You're going to think something and all of a sudden because this is us working with God, right? To manifest and bring things into our lives. So think it not strange when you put the boundaries up, when you cut something off, when you let go of addictions, when you let go of people, when you let go of circumstances that have expired, that have run their course. All of a sudden, this is how we create breakthrough, y'all. This is how we start seeing things manifest in our lives. I hope that makes sense to somebody, because you are actually the one creating your breakthrough. And I know and this is like you. Thank y'all. You are the one creating the miracles in your life, right? Because because you're writing things down. You're taking thoughts. Come on, God. You're taking thoughts. You're taking ideas. You're putting them on paper. You're making them real. You're taking the necessary steps. You're saying, this is what I want. You're setting clear intentions. You're moving towards that. Even if it's baby steps, y'all, this is how you begin to create miracles in your life. You begin, and this is God saying, okay, this is in alignment. Let's go this way. So you're going to start to see things start manifesting for you. Anyway, I hope that made sense. What else, Lord? Give me a minute, okay? Process your pain, face your emotions, grieving, suffering in silence. So for many of us, and depending, you got to know your season, y'all. You got to know where you are, but you still have to make sure. Let me just say this: don't skip past this, okay? Don't skip past facing the hurt. Remember, I just told y'all that I had to acknowledge the fact that little girl, like little Latoya, okay, little Latoya, not ToShae, because ToShae don't get no, wait, baby, but little Latoya, that be wrapped up inside the heart, had to acknowledge, man, that was painful. Man, I faced some things. I had some trauma. So you have to acknowledge that pain. You have to acknowledge those things. Don't skip past it, because when you try to skip past it, that's when you end up having to go to therapy 17 years later. That's when you know what I'm saying? So this is not a time where we should be bottling up the pain. If there's something that hurts you, acknowledge that so that you can work through it, right? Your pain is actually going to, and as crazy as it sounds, but your pain is actually going to be the foundation for your strength. Because once you work through that pain, that disappointment, that heartbreak, whatever that is for you, it's going to strengthen you, because you're either going to experience it again because you're going to stay wounded from it, or you're going to say, never again. You won't get me like that. I hope that makes sense for some of you. So make sure you're facing your emotions, processing them, and dealing with them, okay? Final words of guidance, and we out this thing. We have fire and desire. Ooh, wine to dine, courtship, instant attraction. The chemistry is real. And then we have Matthew 9:37 and 38. We have the work, okay? We have the work. Assignment, career, purpose, daily grind. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. So it's time to get to the work. For many of you, you've done the healing, you've done what's necessary to grow, you're starting to implement the steps. Your obedience is unshakable, right? We have got to have unshakable faith and unshakable obedience in this season, y'all. I just heard rapid manifestation because for some of you, what's getting ready to happen, you're getting ready to start seeing things manifest because you keep showing up doing the work, because you won't allow yourself to be distracted. The Lord is going to start blessing. Come on, God, blessing the work of your hands. I hope that makes sense. For some of you, this could be the blessing of a relationship, right? Maybe that's what you've been praying for. But let me say this as well. Come on, thank you, Lord. For some of you, the reason the relationship hasn't come in yet is because you hadn't gotten past this part. You may be praying for a spouse, but are you ready to receive that spouse? Have you done the healing that is necessary? Understand this, y'all. Come on, God, I just gotta chill. The reason the Lord won't send that person because you're not ready for the person yet. You may want it. That may be your ultimate dream. I just want to be a wife, or I just want to be a husband. But if you hadn't gone through the processing and the healing, you're just going to attract the same type of person and keep dealing with the same types of situations. So this is the importance of allowing yourself to rest. Let your heart rest. Come on, God. Let your heart rest, right? So that you can be ready to receive the person that the Lord has for you. And so I'm like, true story, y'all. Lord, thank you for my husband, wherever he is. Thank you for him, Lord, but make me ready to receive him. I'm not in a rush for a relationship. I'm enjoying being single. I'm not rushing it. The Lord will bring him when he knows that I'm ready. So for some of you, it's like you're praying because you don't want someone where it's just all passion. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, get to know the Lord, get to know the Lord, the protector, the provider, the unconditional love. Allow the Lord to prepare your heart in order to receive it. I hope that made sense for somebody, because otherwise you still gonna keep attracting the same type of El Fulios, and we not doing that. Again, y'all, this conversation made me realize how I just kept attracting the same type of man over and over and over and over until I said no. This ain't what I want. So for some of you, it's like understanding that you're going to have to do the healing. Yes, your heart has already been broken. So let the Lord repair your heart. Let him fix that part of you so that so that you'll recognize and be ready for your spouse when it comes or when he or she comes. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Do the work. Okay, do the work. And so so you're not in a rush for a relationship, because again, this is going to be the same spirit in a different body. Anyway, do the work on yourself and allow yourself, if the Lord gives you a season to be single, please enjoy your single season. Because baby, let me tell you something. It is a blessing to not have to worry about anybody but me. And for me, y'all, I've been taking care of somebody since I was 13 years old. This is the first time in my life where I'm only focused on self. And can I just tell somebody that it's difficult? When you are so accustomed to taking care of somebody else, it is difficult to just be like, because it's almost like you're conditioned to want to take care of someone else. So yes, I go to work and I take care of people, but it's like one of the hardest things is just like learning to take care of self, to love self, to pour into self. For many of you, the Lord is going to give you that time to do that. Enjoy it, okay? Especially if all you've ever known is being the caregiver, taking care of somebody else, right? I was in a bad relationship years ago and I didn't have any self-esteem and I had sacrificed my life for him. I still carry the hurt in my hurt heart. I had to move away from my hometown. That's what Cindy is talking about on YouTube. Y'all, it's not like, how do I say that? I'm not even going to say I carry the hurt, because I don't. I don't carry the hurt, y'all, because if I'm still carrying hurt, then that means that's taking up space. I can't let it take up space. I cannot, y'all. I cannot let it take up space in my life. I cannot let it take up space in my heart. Now, do I remember it? Absolutely. But what I recognize is if I'm carrying it, it's so small that when I finally realize that I'm carrying it like I did the other day, I acknowledge and I say, that hurt. And then I can release it and say, Lord, thank you for healing. Thank you that I know I've been changed. And then if I am carrying it in my acknowledgement, right? Man, I didn't even realize that because it's something, it's not, at one point I was just putting band-aids on stuff, right? But I wasn't acknowledging that I was really hurt. My feelings were hurt. Then sometimes you have a conversation and you be like, dang, that did hurt me. But then I acknowledge it and then I'm able to release it and say, Lord, thank you for healing. Thank you for growth. Thank you for change. And I can pray, and I still pray for those people that have hurt me. Lord, I pray that you give them everything that you want them to have, right? And then I have to move on from it. I can't carry it because I feel like if I keep carrying it, then it weighs me down. Um, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, then we finna go because we got to get to the work. So in prayer with the Lord, something that as there's something that I have going on in my own life, more to come on that as it develops, but um there's a difference between, it's like sometimes people want you to keep telling yourself that you're a certain thing. I hope this will make sense. People will want you to keep telling yourself that you're depressed or that you're unworthy, or you know what I'm saying? Let's say you made bad decisions in your life. Cool. But you're no longer making those bad decisions. I'm not the person that's going to keep beating myself up about stuff that I did 50 years ago, because that would keep me in that energy. And this is speaking to carrying the hurt. Have I made stupid decisions? Absolutely. Have I done things that got me messed up? Yes, I have. But am I still that person? No, I'm not. And there's not a single person who can convince me to call myself something that I'm not. I'm not going to sit in it, because I feel like that would be you trying to make me continue to be that person. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for somebody. It's just like, no, I may have done that 10, 11, 15 years ago, but I'm not that person. And ain't nothing you can say to me to try to convince me that I'm that person when I know that I'm not. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, that's it. That's the message. Don't let somebody try to convince you that you're someone or something that you're not, right? Anyway, that's it. It's time to get to the work. It's time to get to the work. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. It's Monday, y'all. We're gonna have a great and amazing week in purpose, on purpose. Y'all, hydrate your soul, drink your water, say your gratitude. Have a fantastic and an amazing Monday in purpose, on purpose. I will see y'all on tomorrow, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Go be great and amazing. Do great and amazing things. I will see y'all on tomorrow. It's time to get to the work. I love y'all in real life. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Bye, y'all. Look, I got y'all. I'm back to having to stop the stream.